Welcome to the Big Sis Energy podcast, your go-to space for real talk, unfiltered advice, and all the tea you didn't know you needed. We're your hosts, Mackenzie
and Malia, aka your internet sisters. We're just here to walk through our early 20s with y'all in real time. We'll chat about relationships, personal growth, no sugarcoating, just the good stuff.
And this season, we're not holding back, so grab your drink, get comfy, and let's chat. It's time to step into your Big Sis Energy. You ready? Wait, is this thing on? Gotta start this episode off right.
This feels like one of our get ready with me videos. We always start it like cracking it open.
With a Celsuis?
Yes. I told myself I wasn't gonna have a Celsius or like an energy drink, and here I am.
This is actually not sponsored. We're just Celsius fiends, and we actually need to probably lower the amount that we drink. Celsius. Guys, guess what is coming up? Coachella.
Oh my gosh.
I'm really excited for this year because there's for one a pretty good lineup.
Very good, actually. I'm really, because there's a good variety.
Post Malone. I'm kind of excited for Post Malone and Megan.
Brings me back to high school. Like, I remember listening to all of his songs, and they're just so nostalgic. Like, I love his voice too.
Yep.
I'm
excited for quite a few. I feel like all of his older songs, like 2016, I just remember being in high school and jamming to those songs. Like, seriously.
This year's gonna be fun. Kenzie and I did little switch ups. So normally we try to match each other's outfits, or try to coordinate them a little bit. This year we're doing a competition to see who can have the best outfit. So we haven't seen each other's outfits yet.
At all.
And I'm still scheming. I have like the base of my outfits down, but I don't have my accessories. So that's the last few things that I need to get for my fit. But I'm excited because we've never done this before.
Usually it's like sister vibes.
Yeah.
Let's run up the outfits and make sure that they look good together. This year I'm like, we could either twin on accident, which I think will probably happen realistically.
Because I feel like we have the same vibe for Coachella.
Always.
Yes.
Even
so
though
I'm interested to see your outfits though.
Or they'll like not look good together at all and completely clash. So we'll see what happens.
At least we'll get our cute IG flicks.
Individually. Maybe we won't have as many sister pictures together this year. So if you guys see
us
individually.
We don't normally get a lot of pictures together anyways.
That's true.
Because we're always, like, I'm always the one taking Kenzie's picture. Oh my gosh. I'm only...
We gotta keep that in.
No, guys, this is why I need a Celsius, because I can't freaking talk.
I'm like, honestly, do you want to take a few minutes just to sip some? Maybe. I think it was 2 years ago.
Was it the first Coachella we ever went to?
The first Coachella we ever went to. And we were at the... Wait, what were you going to say?
No, keep going, because I have a story after you.
Okay.
That I remembered. That was actually, like, not even funny.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Okay, yeah, wait, sorry. Continue.
Okay. Okay, basically, we were watching Labyrinth perform.
Iconic performance.
Billie Eilish came out. Top tier set. It was incredible, you guys.
I got chills. When she came out, I literally got chills. And the whole performance was A1. Like,
it was... And Labyrinth, he makes some good music. He had a whole choir out. Anyways, we're like pretty close to the front.
We got into the crowd. We were close. I thought, I was scheming because I was like, I think he's going to bring out Zendaya because she sings in the very end of like that one song from Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Running through my system, running. And they brought her out the second week and we didn't see her. I was so mad because I was like, they're going to bring out Zendaya. I just know it. And then she wasn't there.
But Billie, come on.
No, Billie was iconic. I can't even complain because
Billie
was so
good. So basically, we're in the... I don't even want to call it the pit because it really wasn't. But we were close.
In the middle of the crowd.
It was close for Malia and I. This guy, he comes up to me and he walked like 5 rows back to come talk to me. And I was like, interesting. Oh, my wife wants to meet you. And I was like, oh, period. Okay, cool. Like, I'd love to meet her. Could you come to where we're standing? And I was like, sir, I don't know you. I might look young, but I'm not stupid. Okay? I don't know you, but like, I'd love to meet your wife if she wants to come over here. Like, I'm just a little girl. I'm not trying to go where you are. I don't know you, but I'll talk to your wife for sure. Okay? So he like tells his wife to come over with like a little hand gesture. She starts walking close and she's like, did she say yes? To what? Say yes to what? I was like, he asked me to come over to y'all and I said no. So whatever other question you had, I don't know.
You didn't ask that to me.
You did not ask that to me, and I'm like don't know what's going on at all. And I was like, say yes to what? Like, oh, she wanted a kiss. And I was like, say what now? Guys, you cannot make this stuff up.
Also, the man had like white crusty stuff on his nose, so he was sniffing something.
I don't know what
that gave him the courage to come up and ask, I guess,
what he was on. But I was like, I'm in a relationship. I'm not judging y'all, but I'm in a relationship. So no, respectfully, no.
Respectfully walk away. Also, yeah, the first time I ever went to Coachella, I was wearing like these pink sparkly pants. Anytime you're like crossing a crowd, there's another crowd coming towards you, and there's crowds coming from all different directions, so you can't really see where everyone is, and there's so much going on at once where it gets like very chaotic. So I was walking in a crowd, all of a sudden there's a bunch of people crossing paths, everyone's going to like where they want to go, the next stage. Some guy grabs my ass out of nowhere, and I looked back and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I literally turned around and I was like, ooh, like, who just did that? I couldn't pinpoint who it was.
It was like seeing a pile of ants.
Yeah.
Like, scatter.
So it was like they just did it and then kept walking away. And that made me mad. All of my friends that were with me were like, damn.
We were about to fight somebody.
And then we were all just went on a rant about how that was terrible.
And some random girl, she was like, I saw that. And I was like, yeah, I saw that too.
And then I wanted to ask the girl because she just kept walking too. But I was like, well, who was it? First time at Coachella was interesting.
That being said, Coachella, spring.
Outfits are going to eat.
Yeah, mine's gonna be better.
No, mine is gonna be better than yours. She
Y'all
ain't ready.
to-
She ain't ready.
Y'all actually will probably already know by now that the time this is out, because we're filming this like a couple weeks before Coachella. So I think this episode is going live the week after Coachella. So who did
it best?
Who did
it better?
Hold on now. I feel like every day we should have a winner, but then there should also be
overall
a winner.
Like honorable mentions. Yeah,
Malia and I are extremely competitive, so please take that into consideration when y'all are voting. Make sure you're voting for like who you really think won.
Yes, like would you wear the outfit? I feel like we need like a little list, like a criteria list.
I like that.
I like how in depth we are
like
with this.
Best accessorized.
Yeah.
So speaking of spring, today's episode we're actually talking about like spring cleaning, but a little bit more in depth than y'all might.
It's not just like actual cleaning, like because who wants to talk about cleaning?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, don't worry. Don't click off.
Don't click off, guys. I promise it's a good one. We put so much thought into it.
But first, I wanted to talk about. So we've mentioned a few times that we're moving in to a townhouse with obviously Malia and I, but also my boyfriend John. We're not doing long distance no more. He's moving out here. We're so excited. Let me read y'all a comment that we got. So basically, Malia and I made a video getting ready to go tour the house with John and his family. And this is the top comment. The top comment on this video. I'm sorry for being negative, but OMG, it's annoying living with someone new. Y'all are going to be having screaming matches.
That's pretty funny, though. The
That's
fact that
hilarious.
they were so respectful, even though they were like, I'm so sorry that this is negative.
No, for real.
Like, because most hate comments are like, you're ugly. Or, whatever it is.
Yeah, and they just get straight to the point.
Yeah, they
I
just
was like, thank you so much for, like, the preface.
Yes. That was very nice.
That was very respectful. So dainty. So classy. And I
demure.
love that. Oh, no. We cannot bring back demure. I hate that word. Anyways. So, basically, we wanted to talk about that a little bit because John is, like, one of the chillest people I know.
I feel like he's a better roommate than both Kenzie and I. Because John is so clean.
John and I have a routine. So I'll cook dinner or breakfast or lunch or whatever meal. He likes my cooking. For sure. Every time I make something for him, he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best meal." And I'm like, "I don't think it really was the best meal ever, but thank you so much." But like I wouldn't say an amazing cook. I'd say like a mediocre cook. But I'm glad that John likes my cooking. That's all I have to say.
I mean, that's good.
That's good. After I cook, he helps do the dishes. So we have a good little routine going on.
Period.
We're both very active in the house. So yeah. He's very respectful. Everything. None of our personalities clash to the point where we would be like fighting, having screaming matches.
I mean, I feel like we'll definitely get annoyed of each other, but like that's inevitable.
That's inevitable.
Yeah. Because like you and John have a very similar personality compared to me. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we could clash that way. But John is also very unproblematic. Very. So like there's really not going to be any issues.
Way less unproblematic than me. No, but seriously.
Also, we're going to be in a bigger space. It's not just going to be us in our 2-bedroom apartment. John has kind of, like, we've kind of had, like, a little trial run with John living with us. He'll come and visit Mackenzie for a week, maybe 2 weeks. So that's enough time to kind of see how someone lives. So I'm not really worried about it.
He also lived with us for a whole month over the summer.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if we had reservations about him moving in, we would have got separate apartments. Like, Malia would have lived by herself, and John and I would have lived together. So everything's going to be A-okay. To the girly that commented that, thank you for looking out for us, but we're going to be straight. We're going to be good. I promise you that.
You guys, today we are talking about spring cleaning, but not just getting rid of clothes, not just getting rid of clutter, not just cleaning your house, cleaning out your life, relationships, mental health. All of those things are so important to clean out because I think that can cause so much stress onto you as a person. I feel like once everything's purged through a little bit, I feel so much better as a person. I feel like I'm able to focus. I don't know, it's so necessary to do those things. And it's funny, I don't think about that as often as I should.
The past couple months, I have made that an actual priority. And I would say, I'm not going to be so dramatic that it changed my life, but it's changed my mental. I am able to be at peace in my space. We're going to have a specific room in our home for work. John's gonna have an office too. I think that's one thing for me. Sometimes I'm working from my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because we don't have like an office per se. That's something that I'm so excited about, to kind of compartmentalize, like, hey, I'm gonna do work here, I'm gonna sleep here. I feel like for spring cleaning too, not just decluttering, but also refreshing our routines is something that I think is so important, and I'm trying to make a priority right now too. Because for me, one thing I really want to implement that Malia and I actually did today was going on morning walks. Before I start my day, usually I'm always on my phone as soon as I wake up. So I don't think for me it's realistic to say, let me wait to go on my phone. I'm always on my phone. I just have anxiety sometimes when I wake up and I'm like, okay, let me make sure that this is all like good. So I check that off my list. But before I really start my day, I would love to like have my coffee and then go on a walk. So if that means I have to wake up an hour earlier, I really want to start implementing that, because for me, getting that vitamin D, that sunshine.
Like the walk that we went on today, I was like, oh, this is healing. It's the little things that really make a difference with your routine and just with your mental health too. Because I feel like that just is like, oh, that was a great start to my day. And I wake up and I'm in a rush and I'm like, oh, I got to do this, and this. And I am kind of like scurrying out the door. And sometimes that's just with time management, but I hate starting my day off like that, because then I feel like my entire day is just chaotic. Versus like when I get to have an hour to myself in the morning just to sip my coffee and try to wake up, I feel like my day is so much better, because it's like, okay, I had that time to myself and now I can really step into the rest of my day.
If we had a refresh button, what would you press reset on? Like a life reset button.
Wow.
And you said, wow. For me, I would say I want to reset my phone. My phone can cause me a little bit of anxiety because I have 1,200 unread text messages, 20,000 unread emails, and like 30,000 pictures that I don't need in my phone. That type of thing, I'm like, okay, if I could reset that, my brain would. Also, let me just preface, those text messages and emails are all spam emails. So I literally just need to go through and clean them out.
Yeah.
That's something like I want to do this week. Go through, clear out my phone. Honestly, even my following list on Instagram and TikTok.
That's so real.
Like, I think it's so, I am everybody, but me too. I'm very affected by like what I'm consuming. And I think especially for who I'm continually seeing on a daily basis on my following page, on Instagram, on TikTok, on social media, like I want to be, I think, a little bit more intentional with that. Because it's like, I'm allowing that energy into my life, and I want that to be positive. Yeah. Not just like, because sometimes even like if somebody, for example, you followed them for a specific reason, but then they kind of switch their content and now you're not really resonating with the type of videos that they're making anymore, that's okay to reset
Yeah.
and unfollow maybe. You know what I mean? Like
that's
an
true.
example in my life that I think I would press the reset button
That's
on.
so true. I remember going through my following list and unfollowing people, and it's never out of like spite or pettiness. It's just like I don't think my life aligns with what you're putting out. Or
real.
They were like racist people from high school that I didn't even talk to. So I was like, why would I follow you again? I don't. This is kind of weird. I'm gonna unfollow you because you were weird.
The way Malia and I have probably mentioned like that in every single episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to really make an episode.
Oh, y'all wait. We're gonna dig into it. We're gonna get into it because that's a whole story time. We just have to drop some like little teasers here and there.
A little
because,
lore every once in a while.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, that happened. We're gonna get into it. But I think to answer your question, I would say my reset would probably be my mindset towards my health issues. Okay, like I'm gonna really envision myself getting better and not going through the same things that I did last year. I think that's kind of my reset because not that that's going to fix everything. Obviously, I have to put the work into my health to stay feeling good.
Right.
But I think with not having the depressing, like, oh, like, am I ever going to get better? Even though those are thoughts that I have, I want to switch that mindset to I will get better and period.
Yeah,
I will get better.
End of the sentence.
So I think I really want to switch my mindset.
We had Malia and I literally had like a crying heart to heart yesterday.
Some symptoms that I had over the summer were kind of creeping back up on me, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like I was trying to evaluate, and the nice thing is I'm very in tune with my body since everything that had happened. So that's kind of a superpower in and of itself because I'm like, okay, something's slightly off. I'll notice it immediately. And I'm like, okay, what did I take today? What was my routine? What did I do? Did I work out? Like even something small like that can trigger certain things to come back.
Well, I know we had this conversation yesterday and we were talking about how I don't think it's actually a scripture, but it's like a phrase that people use where they're like, God only gives you as much as you could handle. Like looking at each other and we were like, God is not going to give you another battle like that because it's just not going to happen. There's 0% chance that will happen because it's just not going to happen. Period. Like point blank. It's just not.
Yeah. It's so hard to think that way because I'm like, I know how it was when I was at my lowest. And it's like, if I don't even know how I made it out of that. And I was telling Kenzie that yesterday. I was like, I don't even know like how I made it out of what I went through. Yeah. And the scary thing is that it's possible that could happen again, but it's also not because that won't happen again.
What she said, end of discussion, baby.
No, yeah, but it's like, and I feel like too, I always downplay my, like what I go through. And now I'm that's also something that I want to envision for myself. I want to be better at my communication, but also saying like, no, this actually did suck. Like, this is exactly what happened. Instead of keeping it to myself and be like, oh, well, it was all right. Like, my health isn't that bad. Like, actually, no, it was really bad.
Yeah,
it
was really bad.
Now I'm just going to be like, okay. And that's just being truthful and honest. I think that's one thing that I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing.
No, that's one thing I really think about too from last year. I'm like, a lot of people just did not know the half of it at all.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, where's Malia? I'm like,
well, even like, friends or like extended family members, I think people only know what I've told them, which is what I've kind of said on social media, which is still kind of vague. I think one day I'll eventually be open to talking about like the whole story, but it was a lot. Like it was a lot.
And that's such a personal journey too, that like if it takes you 100 years to get to the point where you want to talk about it, like it's whenever you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that's one thing too. Nobody's gonna rush you into talking before you're ready.
Right.
So,
yeah.
What is something for you that gets you out of a rut? Whether that's like a mental rut or you've been out of like a routine.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a couple things that I do, and I feel like I kind of have to like reset my life. Those Sunday resets are so essential, especially for the week, because even if it's like a mini tiny little reset, I feel ready for the week. But I would say cooking a new meal for me, for some reason, like if I try something new or if I'm like actually meal prepping something, I'm like, okay, like I don't have to worry about making something or like, going out to eat or whatever it is for my meal. Like it's already ready to go
for the rest of the week.
Yeah. And then also changing up the scenery, trying something new, but also maybe even if it's like rearranging my room, because sometimes, you know when you guys get sick and tired of your room and it's cute, but you're like, it could be better. I just need to change. I used to do this as a kid too. Kenzie and I, we used to share a bedroom. And I was like, okay, something needs to change. Our bedroom. Like, let's switch around the bed. Let's flip it. Even if it's the exact same, but just like on the other side of the wall.
And I'd always be down too. I'm like, oh, we're moving our beds? Bet, let's move it. And our mom was like, guys, you need to be careful. Like, when I was younger, I did the exact same thing, and I got a hernia. And I was like, oh, got you? Heard that?
And it's always like in the middle of the night too. We're just like moving around dressers and stuff. Like, what are we doing?
How old do you think we were when we did that the most? Probably pretty young.
Pretty young, yeah. Because I don't know, but like, it's funny. I feel like the change of scenery, I was like, oh, like I can breathe now. It's something's different.
I think for me is trying something new. Whether that's like a new hobby. Like, I've been really, I know we talked about this last episode. I want to get into boxing. Like, so bad.
Shoot.
I really, really do. I feel like that would be so fun. And John said that he'd do it with me once he's out here.
Yes.
So I'm
that'd
like,
be so fun.
I want to learn how to box. I also think like trying a new trail, like going on a different type of hike that I've never done before. Those types of things where it kind of takes me out of my routine can kind of spiral into starting a new routine. Okay, well, now I'm going to go on a hike once a week.
Even with the new workouts, I love trying a new workout class, a new like yoga or Pilates.
Honestly, ClassPass is so worth it because you're able to try new things.
Yeah.
And then you could implement that into your routine if you end up really liking it.
Yeah.
But there's no commitment.
Getting yourself out of your comfort zone.
I like
that.
I like that there's, with ClassPass specifically, there's no commitment to a specific spot. Like, you could do like a boxing class, then you could do hot yoga, then you could go like get a pedicure.
You could switch it up
with your ClassPass points. So that's one thing I actually really, really like. And you used to have ClassPass, right?
I'm about to get it again. I love ClassPass.
Let me know when you do, and we can do hot yoga.
It's fun. It's so fun.
I know we talked about how spring cleaning is beyond just decluttering, but I think we need to talk a little bit about decluttering.
Yeah. Kenzie and I are kind of the worst. We hold on to every single thing
I've been making excuses, and I'm like, am I a hoarder?
Not anymore, but I would say probably 6 months ago, I've probably had clothes since I was in high school. There's some clothes that I've had.
Really?
I would say like sweatshirts.
Okay.
So that's like, okay. You know.
I was going to say, I feel like some PJs I've had, like, okay, maybe I've had those for a while. Or like some sweatpants.
Like, girl, it's okay, you can get rid of it.
Yeah, that's so true. I think for me, what really got me to think about this decluttering situation. Again, guys, our LA auntie that's helping us with the design of our new place. She said, your clothes depress me. And what she meant by that, because it sounds bad, but it gets better. You know, it doesn't get worse. What she meant by that was, because I was like, you know, you just said that my clothes depress you, right? She was like, oh, yeah. What I meant was the
backtrack.
The thought of moving your clothes from your apartment now to the new townhouse depresses me. There's so many clothes. And even though the space is bigger, the closet space is not much bigger than what we have now, even though the square footage is so much bigger.
And isn't that something? I feel like you can never get more storage, even if you're paying
for more storage.
Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
We can utilize the space, though, in a way where we can make room for storage.
But she was basically saying, like, it's going to cost you more money to make this space for your clothes
when you could just get rid of it.
When you could just get rid of your clothes. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so Kenzie and I are going to be going through a purge through our closet. Even just all the stuff in our apartment. I feel like there's a lot of things we can get rid of.
Even, like, I was thinking kitchenware.
Yeah.
You know the rule where it's like, if you haven't worn it in a year, you should get rid of it. Now, I've never listened to that rule once in my life.
Well, because there's always an excuse. I'm like, there will be an event where I will need to wear this.
But what if I wanted to wear that to Coachella in 100 years? When I'm a grandma and I'm trying to still go to Coachella. Like, I'm never going to wear it.
Like, you're not going to wear it, no.
Because usually, like, this year, we get new stuff for Coachella.
Also,
or for the event, you know?
I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but when I buy something, sometimes I buy the same thing in different colors. And it's like, okay, I don't need the same shirt 5 times. Or, like, how many hoodies do you need, really? Like, how many hoodies?
3.
You need 3. And the crazy thing is I wear a sweat set, like, I'll wash it throughout the week, but I'll probably wear it the entire week.
And you know what she said, too? I was showing her, like, some different clothes that, like, I like to wear. And I was like, oh, like, but I wear this to an event. And she's like, I've seen you, like, 7 times. And every time you're in a workout outfit. And I was like, yeah, that's because you see me at, like, at your 9 a.m. right after I get out of my workout class. Like, I've never seen you. You know what I mean?
Like, getting ready for an event.
But then she was like, well, I'm going to guess that you go to an event maybe once or twice a week, and you're usually in your athletic wear. And I was like, clock it.
All right.
She might be onto something. So, and I also realized I really only wear the same workout outfits. Like, I have 6 sets.
I feel like it's such a girl thing. I feel like we all just hold on to every outfit we could ever possibly wear. Yeah. I'm like, well, if there's, ever a wedding I end up going to, maybe I'll wear this.
I'm gonna wear this floral dress.
Although, okay, I do understand the dresses thing though, because it's like there's always an event for a dress, but with my regular casual clothes, I don't need that much.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I need a simple minimalistic closet. Will I do that? I don't know.
No, we're doing it.
Yes.
Okay, honestly, you know what we should do? We should have a limit. We should say, we can have 5 pairs of jeans. Okay, let's not say 5, but like...
But yeah.
Let's give ourselves also a limit.
How many of you guys have gone through your closet and then, like, retried stuff on and you're like, wait, this actually doesn't fit as good as it should, Like, there's some jeans that I've bought in the past where I'm like, why would I ever buy this? Like, girl, who are you?
For me,
trying to be different.
Since I'm tall, I'm like 5'9", I will put on pants and I'm like, why does it go up to my mid-calf? And I still own this. So honestly, I think what we need to do is not just look and say, is this
cute?
Try it on. Let's try it on.
Yeah.
Before we say, yes, we're going to take this to the new place.
Because there's even some dresses that I've bought. And I tried it on the other day. And I was like, oh, this is not cute. Like, it's not flattering. I was like, why would I hold on to this if it's not flattering?
She's
got to go.
I honestly hope you guys are listening to this as you're doing your Sunday reset.
Yes.
Because it's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Clock it. It's time. Oh my gosh. That's actually, I just looked down at my notes and read some tea that I've been reminded to say. Malia and I actually decluttered and organized our whole apartment 2-3 months ago. 2 months ago?
I would say 2 months ago, yeah.
Honestly, after that, I felt so at peace. And I'm fiending for that again.
Me too.
So, that being said, stepping into the new townhouse, I really want it to be a priority for me to have a home for everything. I never realized how important that was. Having a home, a specific place where you keep everything. Like, it's not just like, oh, I think like this should go here and this should go there. No, it's like a dedicated spot for it. You're going to be way more organized. And it sounds so simple. You're like, duh. That makes me feel so at peace to know, like, okay, even if it is a little cluttered right now, I know where everything goes tomorrow during my Sunday reset. It's going to get done. Everything's going to go back to its spot, and I know where that is. For example, like, all of our camera equipment, it was all, like, in one box. And it was, like, lighting, sound equipment, camera equipment, tripods, all the things. Now we have 3 different bins labeled lighting, sound, tripods. Just like that simple, it makes it so much easier.
Because we would just like set it aside on our dining room table and just leave it there. Like, that's not a home. Shawty is homeless. Like, she's not.
Bro, what? There's no way.
There's like nowhere to put it. There's nowhere to put it.
Oh my god.
I feel like we need to break up with old habits. You
know? Is that how you feeling?
That's how I'm feeling.
Is that how you feeling? Honestly, I have a habit that I really need to break. I've always been somewhat of a people pleaser. I have gotten way better. The past year specifically, I've gotten way better. But there's one area in my life that I need to break up with. And for me, I think that that's overcommitting.
Ooh.
I think I can do everything and I cannot. And I take on a little bit too much because I'm like, oh, well, I know I got this going on, but I really want to hang out with my friends too. And then by the time I get to hang out with my friends, I'm like so drained that I'm like, oh, I don't even want to hang out because I feel like I'm going to be off. I need to be able to read my calendar better and say, oh, well, I got a full day here. Maybe it's not the best day to go on a hike with my friend.
Yeah, being realistic.
Being realistic.
Yes. I feel like that's why you and I are a good team, because I'll usually be the realistic one, especially with our work calendar, because I'm like, okay, we got this going on. I'm probably going to be really tired by the time we do something.
That's true.
I'm very quick to say no to plans. And not in like just because it's not like I don't want to hang out with you. It's just like I know that I'm going to be really tired or I'm not going to be in a social mood. And it's just not going to be fun for me.
Literally last weekend, we went to a Jamaican brunch spot. We had a time.
So fun.
I had a few mimosas. We had oxtail mac and cheese. It was bomb. Ooh, I had jerk lamb chops. Like,
they had jerk wings too. Those were fire.
Tier food. And my friends and I, we were like, I don't think we should end the night here. It's like 5 p.m. after we're done with brunch.
Although that's crazy. Brunch going till 5. I didn't think it was going to go that long. Because I had a date later that night. And for the first time, I overbooked myself.
Ooh,
not actually, because I still went on the date. And I was kind of tired towards the end of it, but I still got myself, like, I woke myself up and was able to go.
Okay. 4 or 5 p.m. came around and all the girls are like, we're already dressed up, the makeup's done, beat, everything. We should all go out. And I was like, oh, like, I'm so down. Like, let's do it. Everybody goes back to their apartments. Now, that was the first mistake because I knew as soon as I got back to my apartment, I was going to be done. I kept my makeup on. And my friend told me, she was like, keep your makeup on till 8:30. If we have a spot to pull up to, I'm going to text you and we can all go. Bet. Keep my makeup on. I'm chilling, giggling on my phone because I had a couple mimosas. I'm like, watching TikTok. And then I start cleaning. For some reason. It was Sunday. Gotta get ready for the week. So I'm cleaning up my room. I'm cleaning up the kitchen. I get a text at like 9:15 and she's like, you still got your face on? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then I was thinking about it. Do I really want to go out? Like, tomorrow's Monday morning.
Yeah, because I left for my date and Mackenzie was all cozied up on the couch with her robe and her blanket. And I was like, are you going out? And she was like, maybe. We'll see. Because I also told them too. I was like, oh, maybe after my date I can hit you guys up and meet you wherever you guys are. And then I'm glad the plans fell through because I was tired. I was like, ugh.
Well, when she texted me, she said, do you have your face on? I called her and I was like, I still got my makeup on. And if you really want to go, we can go. But we could also do something in like a week or two. You know? Because I was like, honestly, I got to prep for the week. Tomorrow's Monday. And like, if brunch doesn't end around that 5 mark, my Monday's going to be all messed up. And that's irresponsible. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, we're young. You know, we're 20. I can probably make a comeback by 9 a.m. Monday. But will I be at my best? Because some people can rally, be up till 2, 3, and then be clocked in, ready to go, 8:45, 9 a.m. Monday morning.
People also, they'll be going to like, you know, after parties beyond. Because most clubs end at 2 or close at 2.
Or 4.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think our mom gave us the tired gene.
We're old at heart. Like, this is actually so sad. Like, also because of my health problems, I can't really rally at all. But
neither can I. And I don't really have, like, I don't have an excuse. You know? Like, I can't say anything that makes sense. I just genuinely get tired and can't.
Yeah, no, that's so real. And then also wearing heels all night and you're like, I'm tired, my feet hurt, I want to lay down. It's the whole thing. And I'm like, I want some food.
That'll do it.
But also, I can relate to you on saying no more. And also, for me, I kind of mentioned this before, but like speaking my mind, like old habits that I want to break up with. I feel like in the past, I've kind of shied away, or maybe I don't say what I think. And it's okay to not always say what you think. Like, I feel like that's sometimes I shouldn't say that. You know? Where I'm like, okay, that's a little too unfiltered and we need to be filtered. Okay?
Depends on your audience.
Yeah.
Who you're speaking
to.
not
even, yeah, that's actually very true.
Mean?
But like in general, I would say that I usually don't speak my mind. And now I'm like, you know what? I actually don't care anymore. I really don't. that's hurt me in the long run. I'm like, oh man, I wish I said that. Or like even sticking up for myself.
Yeah.
In situations where I was like, oh girl, like why didn't you say that back to him? Or why'd you let her say that and you didn't say anything? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's okay to check people sometimes. And I feel like both of us being kind of people pleasers, we kind of grew up that way. But also I was definitely more of a people pleaser than Mackenzie. And now I feel like I'm unlearning that of like, it's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to not please everybody. Like you're don't
never
always
gonna be able to.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if I say something and someone's like, girl, what are you talking about or whatever, I'm like, you know what, if you don't agree with me, I don't care, you know,
for real.
And that's just that.
That's just that.
That's
actually really good. And honestly, I think I need to do a little bit of that too.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
It's fine. I'm like, if our relationship wasn't meant to be because of something that small, then I don't care.
What do we think of a social detox?
Ooh.
Evaluating friendships. Are we holding on to people out of comfort, nostalgia, or actual connection?
I feel like I used to do this, especially going from high school and then working
and graduating. Yeah.
I felt like, not that I had to have a certain, well, I guess so. I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of want to have a certain relationship with some people from high school. And then leaving, I was like, oh, well, people grow up and people kind of grow in different directions. And that doesn't mean that you have to be besties with everybody. That doesn't mean that you have to be as close as you once were. Like sometimes people grow in different directions and that's fine.
And I think too, people have such a negative connotation with that where it's like, oh, well, you think you're better than somebody, or like,
yeah,
they're not hanging out with me anymore and there's beef. It's like sometimes with relationships, with friendships in general, you genuinely are growing in two different directions, but that doesn't mean one's passing the other.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that there's like a falling out either. Like
absolutely.
It's like y'all can still be cool, y'all can still check in. There's a lot of people that I'm like, hey, like I hope you're doing good, like I love your family, whatever, blah blah blah, but doesn't have to go any further than that.
Or it doesn't have to be like, hey, like let's hang out every week.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's so important to really sometimes sit yourself down and have that social detox, even though it's hard. Because sometimes you're thinking about it and you're like, is this relationship right for me? Friendship right for me? Whatever the scenario is. And it's hard.
Because friends are so important too. Like, I think for me, you are who you surround yourself with. And I take that very seriously. Like, if you're somebody that maybe we don't align with certain viewpoints, doesn't mean that I'm like never going to talk to you, but it probably just doesn't make sense for us to be besties.
Hanging out all the time.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I remember seeing this video of this girl and she was kind of talking about how you can have different friends for different things. And sometimes friends can hit like all of the boxes. Sometimes they hit like one of the boxes, but it doesn't mean that you have to like expect. I feel like you shouldn't have expectations from friends, you know? I feel like that's another mindset that I've kind of switched out of. I'm like, oh, well, like, I feel like I can have a really good time going out with this friend, but I don't feel like I can, like, open up completely with them. That's fine.
That's fine.
Like, you can have a going out friend, and then you can also talk to your other friend about, like, oh, hey, like, I had a really hard time doing this, and you can maybe open up to them more, like, emotionally.
The point about nostalgia, though, is so interesting to me, because I've definitely done that in the past, where I was like, oh my gosh, but I remember, like, in 8th grade when we did this, we had so much fun, or like when we did this, we had so much fun. And I'm like, that's great. And those circumstances are not any less special.
Yeah.
Because you're not hanging out as much anymore.
But sometimes that friendship kind of stays in the past, like in those memories.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fun to like reminisce and look back on those, but it doesn't have to be like, okay, like we said again, hanging out all the time. And keeping that like a priority to hang out with that person if you don't align with their values now. People grow. It's okay.
Yeah. Another thing that I was going to mention was dating in your 20s and your mind shift. Or at least my mind shift. Because I was thinking about it, like I have to stop romanticizing potential. And I think it's so easy to do that as a girl where you're like, oh, you know, he did this. And like, I totally could see him do. But like, okay, is he like that right now? Obviously, it depends on the situation, but you can grow with somebody. And that's if you guys are both willing to work on yourselves, but then also, like, if you're already in a relationship, like, that makes sense to me.
Right.
But when you're first, like, going on first dates and whatnot, like, are they just talking themselves up? Are they just kind of trying to paint you a picture of how, like, they could be, or maybe who they're not? It's interesting, though.
I think that's valid for relationships, too. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you're not necessarily... I mean, I guess you are, but to a certain degree. The person that you're dating right now is the person that you're dating right now. Not the person they were 4 years ago. Not the person that they're telling you they're going to be in a year from now. Because actions always, in my opinion, speak louder than words. Just because somebody's telling you that they're going to change, telling you that they're going to get better at this, better at that, doesn't really mean anything unless you see the actions.
That's so true.
Like, seriously.
And you have to look out for that, too, when you're first meeting somebody. Because they can tell you, guys are... I wouldn't say that they're good at this, but... And this is something that I've noticed the more dates that I go on, is they will match what you say or rephrase it so they can sound like you have something in common when you just said the exact same thing that I just said. Like, why are you mimicking me? You know?
You're like, am I talking to a parrot?
What?
Wait a second.
Hold on. I could have sworn. That sounds really familiar, actually. A little too familiar.
Wait a second.
And I don't know if they're doing it, like, unintentionally, but I've seen it so often where I'm like, can you be original? Like, why did you just say... I don't, like, for instance, I'll say maybe that, like, okay, I don't go out all the time. Leave it, I don't go out all the time. And they'll, like, match the same thing. We'll be like, oh, yeah, neither do I.
But then in 3 minutes, they were like, last week when I was in Tulum, I was partying with my friends. And then this weekend I'm going out.
I have
blah,
nothing.
Blah, blah.
I feel like people think that you have to have everything in common. Or, like, even, like, okay, for me, I don't even, like smoking, for instance. It makes me very anxious. But it doesn't bother me if someone else is smoking. Like, that doesn't... Like, I feel like if someone likes to smoke every once in a while, that's cool. Like, I'm not gonna, like, not go out with you. I'm not gonna not go out with you because of that. And I feel like guys think that automatically. So they're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, I don't either. And then I'll say, like, oh, like, I'm totally cool with, like, I don't really care about that. Then, like, oh, yeah, like, I smoke every night. What? Because before you just said that you... So what's the actual truth here, sir?
Sir!
And the problem is not with, like, you smoking. The problem is you're just telling me bullshit to make me like what you're saying.
The problem is you're a liar and you're trying to manipulate the situation and make me fall in love with you. Yeah. And that's called actually love bombing. So please...
And it's... that just pisses me off because, like, as soon as someone does that, I'm immediately not interested. I'm like, why are you... I don't need a yes man. Guys are so good at that. Actually, no, they're not.
We were talking about, like, growing with friends, but also, like, maybe going in different directions from friends.
Yeah.
One thing about Malia and I moving out here, and that is kind of part of adulting too, but, like, when you leave your family, when you're kind of far from your family, there's kind of, like, some guilt associated with that. And I know for me, especially, like, KK has her prom coming up, and, like, we're not going to be able to go and help her get ready, but, like, every year for high school, like, we've helped her get ready, helped her with her hair, helped her with her makeup, helped her with her outfit, like, everything before homecoming, before prom, whatever it may be. And I'm like, it's just so sad not to be there for, like, those big moments.
Yeah.
And even, like, when we lived in Arizona but we didn't live with our family anymore, we would go home, like, 2 times a week, 3 times a week to, like, hang out with our family.
Yeah.
And now, like, everybody's so busy, like, us included, like, everybody's just living their own life, but it's hard to make that quality time when we live 600 miles apart.
Yeah.
And I have
that part in everyone's schedules too, you know?
Seriously.
Because I think trying to find time between everyone's schedules is really hard. Not to say that we can't do it, but I can relate to you on that because I do feel guilty sometimes. I'm like, oh, like, I really wish I could be there and, like, be there to support my sister or help her get ready, or even, like, my mom, whoever it is. Like, I want to be there for every moment, but I think as we get older, it's not as realistic for those things, which is sad. Like, it is sad, but, like, it's the reality of it.
Because I remember when I was a kid and I would ask, like, mom and dad, I'm like, how often do you guys see your siblings? And they're like, oh, like, as much as you guys see them, like, when we go to Christmas, when we all, like, come together for Thanksgiving, when we all come together for Easter, like, those types of things. And I'm like...
Yeah, because they all have families, they have kids. So that's going to be us one day where, like, we all have families and maybe we're living in different states or whatever it may be. Like, everyone has a different life. Like, you have to take your kids to school or whatever it is. Like, it's going to look so different and it's going to be harder and harder to find time.
That is...
I kind of hate that. I don't even want to think about that, honestly.
No, I know. But at the same time, our family gatherings will be so lit. Like,
yes, oh my gosh.
I know everybody, all my sibling spouses are going to be so amazing because all my siblings are amazing. So I know that they're going to choose amazing partners. But, like, even my siblings, they're, like, best friends with John. Obviously, it's been, like, 4 years in the making, but they have been best friends with John since, like, the first time that they ever met him. And it's so cool to see that relationship. So I'm just really excited to see everybody else's, like, partners and then our sibling dynamic kind of grow in that way.
Yeah.
Especially, like, entering adulthood. Like, Michaela's going to be 18 this year. Max just turned 19. Like,
graduating. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we got a game.
I love our game segment.
Games are so fun. And I feel like I look forward to this. I feel like we have so many good pieces of the podcast in each episode. Like, we have, you know, our little talking catch-up session, and then we have our game, and then we have the Help Us Out segment.
And I love the Help Us Out segment too, because I feel like we get to really talk with y'all. And if you guys haven't seen the link in the bio to drop some tea, talk to Malia and I with that Google form link, please do so, because we read through all of those, and that's how you could get featured in a future episode.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you want to stay anonymous, by the way, you can totally stay anonymous. But if you also want to shout out, we'll shout you out.
Just let us know. Leave us a little note and we got y'all.
We got y'all.
Yes.
But we're playing Keep It or Toss It. We ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Keep It or Toss It. The talking stage that's been dragging on for months.
Toss it. Oh my gosh.
Malia,
like, girl.
Oh my gosh.
No. I've been there though. I've been there. Like, situationship for 6 months? I don't think so.
I can't really give you an answer though on this. For Keep It or Toss It. It depends on, like, what you want out of that situationship.
Well, okay, really. Do you want the situationship or do you want someone to commit? Because I think then there's your answer. Like, if by the time... Wait, how long was the...
It said the talking stage that's been dragging on for months. So it doesn't clarify
months?
how many months. You know, it could be 3 months, could be 18 months.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
It
definitely depends on your scenario, but for me, like, I don't know, if someone's just stringing you along and they're not giving you any... Even, like, if you guys don't want to be exclusive yet, that's fine. But I feel like they should let you know, this is kind of where I see this going. If they're just kind of stringing you along, like, you know, you're kind of like a back option. Like, I don't really care about you, but I want to keep you around. I'm not about that. So for me, I would say no.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you really have to, with anything dating related, you kind of have to know where you stand.
Yeah. Like, because if you want it to be casual, then keep it going.
Then it looks like you guys are both in the same situation.
Yeah.
And that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on what your intentions are too. So that would be my answer.
Real.
Keep it or toss it.
So mine is clothes we bought during our that girl phase, but never actually wore.
That girl phase? What's that girl phase?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Is it like... No, okay, I kind of understand the question, though, because it's like, I want to level up my wardrobe. Let me try something new. Maybe I'm trying to find, like, an interesting piece, and then I never end up wearing it. I feel like I can understand that.
I'm going to say toss it.
I'm going to say toss it, too.
If it was a that girl phase in quotation marks, it was never your style.
Yeah.
So, toss it, donate it, don't toss it.
But yeah, I would say toss it, too.
Keep it or toss it. The 5-step apology text that we keep typing out but never send. Keep it and send it.
Send.
Honestly.
Yeah, because clearly that's been on your mind.
I am so quick to send an apology text. We were on a super group trip to the Cayman Islands, and there was this stunning, beautiful woman on our trip, and we were having like a great conversation, but I said something and I was like overthinking, and I literally remember Malia and I got out of the bus, like we were talking on the bus, And Malia and I got out of the bus. We went into our room. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, did that come off like wrong? She was like an OG YouTube makeup girl. And I was like, your makeup gives OG makeup girl, like OG makeup YouTube icon. But the way I said it, I was like, do you remember that trend on TikTok when people were like clowning the 2016 makeup? And I was like, Malia, what if she
overthinking is crazy? Because I told Kenzie, I was like, no, girl, that was like a compliment. I would have taken that as a compliment because it's like, if you're an OG YouTuber, you know what the fuck you're doing.
Your makeup is giving
T.
Makeup artist, MUA.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I meant. But then the next day, I was like, you know what? I've been overthinking this so much. I'm gonna go up and talk to her. And I was like, I hope that it came off as a compliment and not like I was like, you know, meant something bad by 2016. She was like, girl, you're so sweet. Like there's no worries. I took it as a compliment and I was like, whew, okay.
That's so real to overthink it though, because it's nice to get clarity. Like even if there's no beef between you two, like the least you can get is clarity. And I feel like that just, the other person appreciates it probably. And then you're like, okay, peace of mind. I wasn't crazy, but we're good.
Exactly. And I think too, for me, if I'm overthinking something, I would rather bring it up and then that person at least know that I was really thinking and I really care about them and that I'm not trying to say something that like comes off the wrong way or mean anything with like ill intent. That's never where I'm coming from.
Right.
And if I'm talking to somebody and I said something wrong, I'm probably going to send that 5-step apology text. Like for me, I'm probably going to send it.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Okay, next one is following people from high school we never spoke to. Toss. I'm gonna say toss. Because I've already tossed it.
Guys, I would say keep.
Really?
Unless they called me the N-word. Then I'm a toss. But that being said, there's a lot of people in high school that we were like mutuals with, but I don't really resonate with them now or their beliefs necessarily. And honestly, the only thing that's stopping me, and this is again, I'm a chronic overthinker, okay? The reason I don't want to unfollow them is because I don't want them to think, and I know I shouldn't care what other people think. I know that's what you guys are going to say. And I'm still learning and growing, okay? So maybe in a year from now I'll have a different answer. But for me, I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm better than them because we have a following. So that's always been in the back of my head, and I'm like, dang, like, you know, we grew up with these people kind of. We really only went to school with them for like a year, so it doesn't even matter. But I don't want them to think that like I've changed in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I only keep the people that like I actually talked to or was like friends or like acquaintances with. Because if there's people that I didn't really talk to in high school, I don't see the reason for following them. In my opinion.
Real.
In my opinion. I don't know. It's just like, I mean, we have nothing in common. We didn't even talk to each other. So why the follow? There's still people that I follow that are from my high school that like
Your friends
we're
with.
cool.
Yeah.
Not that we're close or anything, but like I don't see the reason to unfollow them. Like they've always been nice to me, and that's that.
So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think, if I should unfollow them or if I
Because it's not, there's no beef either.
There's no
unless
beef.
you called me the N-word, then there's beef. Like why would I follow you? You know?
Yeah. So that's not even an unfollow. That's a I haven't been following.
That's like blocked.
Oh my gosh.
And you're blocked.
I was about to go into a rant, but I realized we don't have that much time, so I'm not going to go into the rant. Okay. We'll save that for a different episode. Subscribing to every new self-care trend, but sticking to none of them. Keep it.
I love the idea, you know? It's nice to see ideas for what my future could look like, but never implementing them. Like
I think there's a balance of this. I think it's fine to implement some new things, but to go above and beyond. You could probably get an ice roller for like $15. And it's not like, should I add this to my routine? It's gonna like, if I don't implement it every day, that's like not a good idea for me. That's not smart financially. If it's an ice roller, it's like, oh, like I could try that. But if it's, for example, like a new face and you just want to get it because you see another person on Instagram implement it in their routine and it doesn't work for you and you know you're not going to keep up with it, maybe don't splurge on the new face. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, also make sure it's realistic for you.
Exactly.
With whatever routine it is. Because I feel like some things I'm like, okay, there's no way that I would ever do that on a consistent basis. So
like for me, I got the red light therapy mask. I have not used it.
real. And sometimes you have to go through the motions to be like, okay, let's be real.
Learned my lesson. So now I don't buy things like that because I know that I have to keep my skincare routine pretty minimal.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. And I feel like there's some routines out there that are way too extensive to where it's not even healthy. It's like you don't have to be doing the most. Mm-hmm. Who's that guy?
Oh,
with the fake morning routine. He wakes up at 3 a.m. Ashton.
Oh,
yeah.
My gosh.
The memes are hilarious.
They get me. The memes get me every single time.
But there's no way that's his actual routine. Like, it's got to be a skit, right? You'd hope it's a skit.
I'm sure he films it every day, so it's probably a routine by now.
The crazy thing is he could film it at night and no one would know. Like, he doesn't actually... Does he show himself, like, waking up at 3? Or is it just the timestamp 3? Because you could just edit that on. We'll never know, guys. We'll never know.
Malia said, I need the tea.
Okay, the next keep it or toss it I have is the idea that we have to be successful by 25.
Toss.
Facts. I feel like there should not be an age that you should hit, like, a certain thing. Like, I remember thinking that way when I was younger. I was like, oh... by 25, I'm going to be married, and by 27, I'm going to have a kid, and all those things, and now I feel like that's probably going to change, and I don't know.
I think in general, having, like, deadlines for yourself put too much pressure, and if something's supposed to happen for you, it's going to happen at its own time.
Regardless of what it is, either. Like, if it's career,
relationships.
Yeah, anything.
Kids.
Like, it's, yeah.
Yeah. That's so true.
Because I feel like we can all get so hard on ourselves. Like, we're our biggest critics, but there shouldn't be a timestamp for when you need to have a certain thing done.
Yeah.
Or, like, you need to achieve something. Like, I feel like we're all still learning and we're all so young, and I don't know.
We're just figuring it out. No matter how old you are, that's something I've realized. No matter how old you are, you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So there's never gonna be an age where I check off my bucket list. Damn, I have this shit figured out. Yay me! Like, I don't think we're ever gonna get there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Okay, last keep it or toss it. Watching the same comfort show for the 100th time instead of starting something new.
Keep it.
Keep it.
I do that too. Sometimes I mentally want to check out, and I don't want to give my time to, like, a new show just yet, because I'm like, oh, I just want to have something on in the background that's happy and makes me feel good.
Because then you have to be locked in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're starting a new show, I'm like, I need to know the plot. But if I'm not in the mindset, in the mental space to see a new plot, then I'm gonna watch New Girl again.
Also, why is it fun to, like, already know what's about to happen? You're like, oh, I remember this episode. I love this.
That's so true.
All right, you guys, it's time for the Help Us Out segment.
Let's get into
I'm so
it.
excited. First question. Can we really talk about guilt versus self-betrayal? I keep choosing what's familiar and comfortable, but deep down I know I'm holding myself back. I don't want to hurt anyone, and I also feel like I'm shrinking to keep the peace. How do you know when it's time to choose you? It's a good question. I feel like you already know by just asking that. Like, when you feel like you're stretched thin and you feel like you're doing too much, take a step back. Like, you're worth that. And when you start to notice that you're just getting stressed out and overwhelmed with every single thing that you have to do and the things that you've already committed to, it's okay to take a step back and be like, hey, guys, I need a little bit of me time. And that's totally fine.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, like Malia said, I think you kind of answered this by asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
By you knowing that you are stretched thin and you want to step into... It sounds like you want to step into a you journey,
Mm-hmm.
but you feel like you're not able to because you're helping so many other people. You cannot pour into others if your cup is half full or below. Your cup should be overflowing and then you're pouring into others. That analogy, I think, is so helpful because you're able to give better and more to the people around you when your cup is overflowing, period.
And I can totally understand the guilt too, because sometimes even like for family members or friends, when I was going through my health and it was at its lowest, I did not have any time or the mental capacity to even give my time to other people. And at times I felt bad because I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't go to my friend's birthday party, or I can't do this, or I can't be there for them for this, when I know in the future I can when I'm actually well. Sometimes you have to choose yourself over that. And even it's a hard decision, but it's worth it, because also people should understand that. Like, I think it's valid to feel that way.
Honestly, sometimes you will appreciate yourself even more when you do choose yourself. Because there have been times where I should have chosen myself and I didn't, and I regretted it later on. Because for one, I wasn't showing up the way I wanted to for my friend or my family member. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's
like you have to be right before you can help anybody else, like Kenzie said.
Yeah.
And that's so valid. Make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Okay. Help a sis out. I really want to become the best version of me I've been dreaming about, but I don't know where to start. I've been stuck in old habits, and it's hard to let go of the girl I've always been. Do you have any real life advice for actually stepping into your new era without feeling fake or overwhelmed?
Ooh.
That's tea.
That's really good.
I do have advice for this. I think your mindset needs a slight shift. You don't have to change who you've always been. You are forever evolving and growing, and that does not have to change. You becoming this better version of yourself, starting this new era, doesn't mean you're throwing out your past self, your previous self. It's, let me step away from my negative, bad habits to become a better version of me. Like, I think talking to your younger self is so important.
Yeah.
Because your younger self would be so proud of who you are today. And your younger self probably thinks that you already are your dream girl. Think about that.
That's so true.
Think about that. Like,
give yourself grace.
Your younger self would be so proud of how far you've come.
And I think as humans too, we're always kind of like, oh, it's never good enough. Even with social media, like I am guilty of thinking that way. I'm like, oh, well, I could always be doing this, or I could always be doing that, when I should be happy with the person I am right now. But I will say, even if you are looking to change and evolve in certain ways, I think for me, starting very small, where it's like, okay, let me add this small thing into my routine. Once I get that down, once I get it kind of locked into my routine, then as I'm consistent with it, I can add another thing. So it's like, you don't have to like all of a sudden do a 180 and just switch up your whole routine, because that's not realistic at all. And
it'll last 3 days.
It'll last 3 days. Like, even with 75 hard, that's a lot to kind of implement into 75 days. Yeah. And it's hard to stick to, which is why it's called 75 hard, because it's hard. But if you're trying to be realistic and try to change certain habits in your life, even things for me like eating healthy, I had to switch my diet, but it started off slowly. I think as I took some things out, or maybe added some things in, it took time to get where I am now.
But it progressed.
But it progressed, and I started small. And I think that's my biggest advice if you are looking to change. If there's one thing that you want to focus on, it's like, okay, do baby steps. Like, you don't have to do one huge leap into it.
1% better every day.
Yes.
It's so cringe and cliche. Yes. Like, seriously. But it is true.
And then it's so easy, because then once you start implementing it, and there's the tiny thing that you implemented, it's like, oh, like, this is so easy. Like, I can definitely do this. And then by the time you're a month down the road with being consistent, you're like, oh, I can definitely add something else in. Like, that's not even, I think sometimes when you do too much, it's overwhelming, and then you just completely go cold turkey and back to your old ways.
So if you were to give specific advice that's realistic to start with as a starting point, I would say write in your notebook the habits you have now that you would consider bad. Habits in your life now that you would consider good. Because let's be honest, just because you have some bad habits doesn't mean you don't have good ones. So I think it's important to not only analyze what you could be better at, it's also important to say, hey, no, I do good at this. I show up for the people in my life.
Yeah.
I'm a positive person. I'm genuine. I'm kind. These types of things that it's like, no, this is something that maybe hasn't always been true for me in my life, but it is now. That wasn't just a baby step. That was a big step from 5 years ago, but it took baby steps to get to where I am now.
There.
So I think it's important to analyze where you are right now, what you overcame, and yeah, that's what I would say to start with.
And having a plan to kind of get there.
Yeah.
Because it's good I agree with the notebook thing. It's good to kind of see and get a gauge of like what you actually want to do
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. We will see you guys next week for Big Sis Sunday, episode 5.
Whoop, whoop. I'm loving this, y'all.
Me too.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Mine is Malia Alexis _
and mine is Kenzie Grace _
and make sure to follow Big Sis Energy with 2 Ys on Instagram to keep up with everything that we're doing. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below.
And the link for that Google form, it's in the description box. And we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.